Okay, are we live? Malum, are you here? Malum, hello?
I think he's gone.
Audio check, Malum.
Hello, chaps.
Yes, please just increase your mic volume by a little bit. And share the link over on the YouTube.
That is the answer. That's the only right answer. Everyone who's in this party is commentating.
Yes,
Nobody
so
wanted to do comms, right, for the past few weeks.
we are live. Hello and welcome everyone to the Indian Racing League Season 12 race around Mexico. Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Then joining me the very happy Malav, who is watching my share screen. Hello Malav, how are you?
Hello, chips. First of all, how many people are audible on this stream?
Nobody. It's only you, myself, and yourself. I've muted everybody else. So I hope that's in the best
Oh,
interest of the stream. Yeah, because
chips, I can hear at least 2 to 3 people
can
abusing
you?
you for that,
Oh,
but it's okay.
well, I should have gone with my gut and likely started a new party. But nonetheless, we are here right now. Should we require that, we will do that in the future. But for the moment, we have completed 4 minutes of qualifying, 4 minutes 10 seconds of qualifying, and at the moment it's F17 who is provisionally on pole. Malav, what's your take on the situation for qualifying? Who's it going to be?
Oh, Baz just went P1. That's 2 tenths
I
ahead of
think
Suraj,
slowly and
and
steadily the D1 drivers will be picking up the pieces and rising to the top. As I think we see Yash Gosali, he's not using battery, so I think he may be doing race runs or maybe he's on an out lap. I don't think he is. But nonetheless, we see Domathor about to start his lap. So Malav, why don't you take us through the lap at Domathor?
okay, this is going to be chaotic because I can hear people in the
I can
background.
imagine.
But Domathor approaching turn 1 where Max overtook 2 cars on lap 1. I think it was a couple of seasons back. Takes the right, left, right corner well, and then approaching turn 4, I believe, where Vettel had his moments with the Red Bulls back in the days. But coming back to while I continue to spectate this lap, Chips, coming back to what do you feel about this mixed grid of D1 and D2 drivers?
Well, given how Texas went, I'm quite eager to see how it goes. This is a very
I have
nice display of drivers that we have in store. We have a lot of
I have
competition. It's really fun.
I have no idea how Texas went, but Domathor is apparently 5 tenths up on his time through sector 2 and has that twisty stadium section to go before he completes his lifetime, and let's see what it's going to be.
I think he
It's
backed out of the lap because
P9
he has a lot
for
of battery.
Domathor, which is respectable, I would say, but still has, I think, at least half a second in his car to find.
Well, I think what he did was he turned off his battery sometime during the lap. I wasn't really paying attention to that. It's also important to mention that we have seen Shooter retire. Today is his birthday as well, so that's a great way to mark however old he is. A great way to go about it. I'm sure it'll be better for him in the race. He is driving the
एक
best
मिनट
car.
Chips, एक मिनट.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chips, 1 second. Yeah,
Right on.
Shah?
Okay.
Yeah, US. हाँ, but तू मेरे को क्या बोल रहा था ये तो बोल दे. Oh, shout out to Shah, yes. Chips, shout out to Shah for
Shout out
winning
to Shah.
season 5 in the spectacular fashion
Shout out
in
to Shah.
Imola. I think it was a track.
On board with him.
And he's back.
Community
He's a
center
married
of
man
my
now, Shah. So, commiserations.
Oh, I'm sure I'm being cursed at by a few people right now anyways, but we carry on with the
I'm
poly
not,
session.
but you are.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Let me just. Sumer is in the party.
Well, I should really be muting people. Because I don't want to. Yes, I think we will
Thoughts
be.
on the championship, Smith? Smith बोल रहा हूँ मैं. Chips.
I think it's time to switch to another party after quali ends. It's going to be a little
Yeah,
hectic
it is
in every
too
regard to
chaotic.
do this. Yeah, it's too hectic to do so. And yeah, championship. I think Noption is still in control.
I think Chips we
Ready?
can
Yeah.
probably
Do that right
switch
now.
to another party right
Yeah,
away.
all right.
Yeah.
See you all guys. All those in the party chat right now. See her.
Right, guys. And Smith, if you are.
So I'm starting another party chat. So that was a little bit of an experiment which we shall remember not to partake in the future. Yeah. It's not a good idea to have 10 people in the party chat when you're trying to do comms. It's maybe a little distracting. Nonetheless, we have 15 out of 17 drivers who have set a lap time. We may have another driver or two join us. I think Vintage Player mentioned that he was wanting to join. Hello, Malav. Welcome. Let me just start my share screen up for you. So just please try to keep joining in, just in case you can. So yes,
Send me an invite if you can.
absolutely.
And I will. But I don't think this is gonna work.
Try. Why not? We can always try. So presently we have 15 out of 17 drivers who have set a lap time, and the gap between P1 and P15 is 2.3 seconds. Sonic Hawk not having the best of laps, so we haven't really been able to follow anybody's lap as such. So let's try to follow somebody who's on a hot lap. Maybe somebody who's about to start their lap. So I think Noption, yeah, he's coming up to turn one. Let's have a look at him. Brake decently for turn one, gets the car turned in. I think he's a little slow on that apex. Navigates this reasonably. I think he's not very confident, I think, with the rear end of the car at the moment. His front end looks very stable. Coming up to the end of sector one, he's 4 tenths up on his time. That's a very good predicament for the future. Let's see through this double right hander. And coming up to the SS section, this is a tricky section of the track. You can very easily invalidate if you're not focusing enough, but I think an option has navigated it well. Reaching the end of the SS section, and I see a yellow flag flashing once again. We shall not focus on that. We should focus on option sector 2 time. He's almost just over 4.5 tenths up on his personal best. Going through the stadium section, this is one of the most spectacular sections in all of F1. In real life and in the game, and he has invalidated right at the end there. That was visible on the stream. Noption will be supremely upset with that, and he's taken out the bollard for good measure. That's the end of his qualifying lap, not his qualifying. That's the end of his qualifying lap. Okay.
Alright, so I'm back to watching your share screen. I still can't join.
Unable to join. No worries, no worries. I hope I'm still audible on the stream and nobody's.
I think by now people would have.
Yeah, somebody would have let me know. So let me just confirm though, because I like to be very particular. A little bit of OCD.
Right. So in terms of the championship chips, it's Nopshan who's leading by a whopping 24 points. That's a race win by what he's leading by. That's a very good margin ahead of the two Mercedes in P2 and P3 separated by just 5 points each. So, and Rahul is back. I think he missed the last race or the last to last race. He missed one of the races I was commentating in.
He did. He missed the last race. I think he was there for the race before.
Oh, okay, so, my bad.
Yeah.
So that's definitely has hurt his championship fight. And also Mercedes for the constructors, I think they are sitting with quite a gap at top, which is 109 points ahead of the Williams. So I think Mercedes are still on course to clinch the constructors title, but it is the driver's title, which I think will be much closer. Spectating Suraj right now, I think you are Chips, and he's going to encounter a few cars which he probably would want to.
Yeah.
They're on an outlap, and Suraj himself is on an hot lap.
So let's see. That car's on the apex, and that has really messed him up. Oh, that's an Aston
Yeah,
Martin, I believe, of Sonic Hawk is the only Aston Martin on track. So I don't think Seven will be particularly happy with that, and he
yeah,
dives into the pit lane. So drivers are really encountering issues in the final sector. We saw that happen to Nuption, and we saw that happen to Seven at the moment as well, as Basil has gone up to P1. So before
38.
the race start,
It's a
Malav, we had a
5 minute gap
nice
to Noble.
announcement.
Okay, which was?
Noble Garter and URL Ethan, the top two presently, they have been allocated full-time seats. Sorry, P2 and P3, not the top two. So Noble
Oh
Garter and
yes,
Ethan
I
are now
think
full-time drivers.
in place of Ace and Viper Speed is
Yes,
was the announcement, I believe.
it is.
So as Stuart
How
says
problematic is
hello.
this for Nuption? Given that they are
I
D1
think,
drivers.
to be honest, I mean, if you really think about it, as Ethan invalidates,
Yeah.
if you really think about it, Chips, this is probably better for Nuption because the gap between P1 and P2 is more than any other position in the field, right? Now, if I am Rahul wins these races and Nuption finishes P2, I am Rahul stands to gain 7 points each race. Versus now, the likelihood of Am Rahul winning is slightly lesser, although he's in P2 right now, so let's not count him out. But it's definitely not going to be easy to win races for the likes of Rahul and Napshan and Suraj, for that matter. And you never know, maybe the Sid Venkatesh or a Smith as well. So I think because of this healthy gap between Napshan and other drivers, while he might not win or might not be on the podium as often, but I think with I think about 5 races to go, including this one, 6 races to go, including this one. My bad. Uh, he probably would welcome this change if he's thinking long term and is thinking about the
Yes.
championship.
So I think consistency and cleanliness are really going to get Nuption a long way in this championship. I think as we saw in Texas, I think you said you weren't able to follow Texas, so Nuption kept it within track limits while many others couldn't, and he finished on the podium. He was on the all strategy, which was not in in hindsight it may not have been the fastest strategy, but Nuption made it work. He kept it clean, so I think that's what he should really focus on. The remainder of the season, just keep it clean, keep it consistent, score good points, as many as you can. And yeah, the top. I think the likes of Rahul and Seven will be battling with the D1 drivers as well. So I think
Yeah,
it's a
and
matter
this
of
this kind of makes things tricky for Rahul and Suraj as well. Usually, we have seen the Mercedes boys working together in tandem when it comes to races. They try to help each other out and try to kind of lead the rest of the field and maintain and control the pace, which is not probably going to be the case going forward. So
yeah.
that's going to be interesting to see as well. And as I see a comment in this in the chat, which is Aravind, if I am pronouncing this right,
Yeah, I was a
Aravind. This
bit
is a game.
skeptical about bringing that out.
This is a game. It's not a real life race. Thankfully,
Yeah.
we don't have the likes
Okay.
of Nupson and a lot of other drivers driving the cars around the real life Mexico track. But
We would like to see that, wouldn't we? That would be such incredible chaos.
yeah, I mean,
It wouldn't be good for the environment and all that, given the amount of debris that is scattered on lap one. But it would be incredible chaos.
yeah, and I think we have the last round of hot lap coming up. You see a lot of
Yeah.
drivers on the out lap and a few just exiting the pit lane as we speak. So
So
it's going to be a
Smith
flurry of
is not
cars.
in a very good part of the track because he has a lot of traffic ahead of him. He's managed
Yeah,
to
and
avoid the traffic into turn one.
that's gonna hurt him in I mean, that might hurt him in sector two because,
Yeah, that's
as you said, he's gonna encounter so many cars. Look at those cars just
oh
going slowly, crawling through the next chicane, and Smith is well. He might not be impeded, but he's definitely going to be distracted by these
yeah.
quantum of cars ahead of him.
Ferrari gets out the way nicely. The Haas is not so kind on Smith, who is going to be ahead through the first part of the S's, now through the middle part and the final part. Smith's run is relatively uninterrupted. It's the last sector where we may see some cars slow down, and Vintage Player has joined us. I don't think will be able to set a lap, so he will start in last place. at the present situation. Through the stadium section goes Smith, a little hesitant. I think he put the power down a little too early there. Through the last corner, a little slow through there, but coming up to the line, Smith takes the shortest route and he goes up to P10. So
Yeah.
that's
P10
really,
and P11 for the Williams, especially
although
induction.
an option is improving. An option is improving. He is, however, he's still not improving by what he needs to. He really needs to be where the likes of Ethan and Seven are at the
And
moment.
his run
Yeah,
deep into that double right-hander. So
that's not going to
it's
help
good
him.
first sector, but his second sector might be compromised as he has to. I don't think he's taking the optimum lines through that section, at
Record
least the first part of the second sector.
checker
And
flag is out, and he is up
so
by
then,
4 points or so. But he's taking too much curbing. I think he's going a little bit too aggressive. It's possible that he's just a bit frustrated that he's not been able to get a good lap in throughout this. And this is one and only attempt. Is it like he's a bit under pressure? It's
it is
P7.
possible. Puts it P7, but you never know. People
Yash P9.
might
What about
people might overtake him.
Shiva?
Shivas is not going to do that. What about not Sumer? In the McLaren
Sumer
P11
might.
right
He's
now.
up by a significant margin, so I think that's certainly going to see him around where Ethan and Suraj are at the moment. Very close to the wall, but taking the shortest run to the line. Sumer goes up to P4, right between Rahul and Ethan. So, and Caesar's put out a very nice start involving you, Malo. So you may want to
Yeah,
take a
just
gander
read
at
that.
that.
Well, as far as statistics go, that's one of my favorites. But a controversial, I wouldn't say controversial race, but a sad race, that one where Caesar won in way back in season 3. Ashwin was leading the race and he got disconnected under a VSC or a safety car and then just couldn't recover in time. Kind of the story of Ashwin's season 3. And we hope one day in future when he has the time and the tools and the internet to compete, he would be back.
Really
We are all
hope so.
rooting for that.
Great guy to race against. And there you go. That's the end of qualifying. Basil has taken pole position. Noble got a second. Rahul is third. Is he in the best possible position right now? Because as we know, the run down to turn one is quite long here, and the slipstream really matters. Rahul is in a great position to pick up the
Yeah,
benefits.
Rahul is in a good position, yeah, because it's a very very long run down into turn one, almost like a kilometer. If I'm getting it right, maybe lesser than that. Kilometer is probably a bit too much, but yeah, he's in a good position. I think what we've seen in the previous races is sometimes the midfield battles so much that they let the top 3 or 4, maybe even 5 sometimes, drivers get away and run their own race. So in Mexico, with only one DRS zone practically, well, there is a second DRS zone in Sector 1 itself, but
There's a
you
third
could,
DRS
you
zone
know,
as well, right?
but yeah, but it's a short DRS zone,
Yes,
right,
yes.
in Sector
So
2 after the
yeah.
SS. So it's very likely that cars could get detached here from each other, especially through the second and third sector, which is
We saw
third
that
sector
last week
especially.
at Kota, where when Baz and Ethan were battling, they let Vifix run away. So
Yeah,
that's not
it's
going to
a
happen
technical
again.
track as well,
Yeah.
Mexico along with USA. So
That's gonna be
that
fun.
that's what people would try to avoid, especially people who are battling behind the leaders. But should be an interesting start for sure, and I hope everyone's front wings remain intact by the time
That
we
will
reach
be
maybe turn 4.
all will be revealed in a moment. Would you like to do the race start, or would you like me to?
I think you should go ahead since you have the controls. It's better if
All
you.
right. So Caesar mentioning that pole by Basil was just 2 tenths off from the IRL record at Mexico set by Vifix on F1 2020. So another 2 and something tenths would have been a new record for Baz. So that's, I think, showing that he's in great form.
Yeah, he is in great form. And I don't know where he finished in Kota. Was it on the podium or?
He was off the podium because he got a track limit warning. Baz
Oh, okay.
is still hunting for his first win. Could this be the one? 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the drivers. and it's lights out, and they're off. It's a decent start for Baz. It's actually a better start for Rahul, who's picking up the slipstream. Noble God has not got a very good start. He's being swallowed up there, and he's already been overtaken by your Ethan as well. But as you go towards turn one, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Rahul? Is it going to be Basil? Let's go. Let's see towards turn one. Rahul breaks super late. He does what Perez could not do last year, and he's moved into the lead of the race from the outside. That's a great move. And look at these two, Ethan and Baz. They are battling away. Let's have a look at the tire situation as well in a moment. But let's look as they come up to the end of sector one. Yeah, Ethan is still behind for the moment. Noble Garter is looking to make back some positions, but not Sumit diving down the inside with an opportunistic move. Will he be able to make it stick? I think he will. Noble Garter runs out of space and he has nowhere to go. Abhishek's, I think he's also going to go for the move. Noble's really not, I think he's lost all momentum here, and Abhishek will still get the position on Noble Garter, and Noble almost makes contact with the McLaren driver there. But up front, the big story here is that I Am Rahul has moved up into the lead. Could he stay there?
Yeah, what a start by I Am Rahul, and Noble Garter is just dropping like a heavy stone into the water, because I don't know how many positions he's lost since we started the race, but it's not been a good start for him. And let's see what the Haas boys can do. I think Basil is much close to I Am Rahul than Rahul would have liked, but I don't think he wants to go for a move right now. He's gonna sit in the slipstream, and DRS I think is enabled at the end of lap 1.
Yes.
So maybe down into turn 4. Let's see if Baz can sense an opportunity here. But what a start from I Am Rahul. Unfortunately, it's a very long main straight where you can take advantage of slipstream and DRS.
Yes, and as we can see there, Ethan and Baz are feisty. They're eager to get past Rahul. Rahul won't let that happen very easily. He will put up a fight, as we know him to put up a fight. And meanwhile, further back, Domathor has made a pit stop, so I assume he's made contact with somebody in the midfield. I'm not sure, we've not really followed the midfield much here. But let's have a look at this little battle here. What's happened? Oh no, that's Archit and Shah. Just as I switched over to them, that is a classic example of what we call in the business as a commentator's curse. We shift our focus back to the leader. Wow, that's
unfortunate though for Archit and Shah. Especially, I don't know if it was Archit or Shah who was the car behind, who just T-boned who they were following. But here goes Basil, and it should be a standard textbook move into turn 1 for the lead of the race.
Yes, and there you go. Rahul in P2, now behind Baz, and I don't think he'll get DRS either, because there's one detection zone here. I think he's got a corner cut warning for that. As Baz with the DRS once again, so there's one detection point for the first and second DRS zones. That is going to be a detriment, as Archit in the pit lane. So I think he was the driver who T-boned Shah.
Yeah, I think that's... Chips, what do you think about this single detection point? Baz, by the way, breaking away. Look at the gap, almost 9/10, and in the second sector, it's not only going to go up, it's a second already. So as Caesar said, maybe Baz is already back on his controller and he's flexing his pace he has.
And Ethan with the move. Ethan making the move, and I think he'll make it stick as well. What about not Sume? Will he go for an opportunistic move? He will. Sends it down the inside. Rahul will defend it, but I think he'll run out of room. They're banging wheels. Side pot to front left, and Rahul has to take the not so ideal line, and he's going to be under threat from Abhishek. Look at him. He's hounding the rear wing of that Mercedes there, and he moves out of the slipstream looking to make a move. He'll use some battery, but I think he'll have to wait a little bit longer because Rahul will have the slipstream. I think it's all stabilized for the moment.
I Am Rahul lost 3 positions in a matter of 1 lap there. That just shows how chaotic it could be if you don't play a car race. As Nuption overtakes Sonic Hawk for P9.
Oh, this mosquito and
this is what I was talking about, Chips, when it comes to... Oh, someone is spun. It's just Gosalia.
Yeah, I was really...
There's a yellow flag. I think it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, so Chips, this is what I was referring to. The likes of I Am Rahul and Suraj are not going to have it easy at all, and which is where Nuption would be protected in terms of his point slots, if at all he has championship rivals.
Thing is, Nuption is on hard tires. He is currently 4th of the D2 drivers in the field. Rahul is the lead D2 driver, and Suraj is the second. next car is G2. I think, is it possible that the Merc drivers just have a little more pace here in Mexico compared to Naption, or is it just the tire compound difference?
Yeah,
What's
it
your
is
take?
possible. We have seen a few races where the Merc
Okay.
drivers are definitely faster, but Napshan usually has been more smart. But I think there's going to be a swap for the lead between the two Haas teammates.
And there you go. I don't think Vaz could do anything there. There was nothing in his power because Ethan had the DRS, and I think he might be under threat from somewhere. Look, his battery light is blinking. I don't think he's in a very good position here. He's turned off the lights. I believe he's deploying some battery, but I don't think he'll be able to defend it, and he lets him go. So I think that's
Yeah,
smart management by Vaz, race management.
this is the power of double DRS when you get a second helping on the back straight and single detection zone, which is what Kips, I just wanted your opinion on. What do you think about this single detection? We have seen this in Mexico,
Personally,
in
I don't
Hungary,
like it. Yeah.
in Australia as well. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either because, well, if you want to promote close racing, then you probably might as well. Probably in Austria it makes sense in Australia because the last corner is a
Yeah.
medium speed corner. It's difficult to follow, but let's say in a Hungary or in
Over
a
here.
Mexico,
Yeah.
yeah, over here,
It doesn't
I
really make
think
sense.
yeah,
Honestly, it's a little.
overpowered.
Some rules need to be modified, honestly, for the modern age. And Sume will move into the lead of the race. What about Baz? Can he make the move on his teammate? He will. Ethan will not put up much of a defense. I think there was a little bit of wheel banging there between the pair of them. As I see a yellow flag further back, that is the kick over, I think, of Yash Gosalia. We will have a look at that in a moment. But there you go. Sume has the DRS, so Baz can't really do much on this occasion. Or can he? Will he go for a dive? Aggressive dive? I don't think he will. He will hold his ground. Abhishek
And
and
look at
Rahul.
Rahul.
Yeah.
Rahul has lost a place to Abhishek.
Coming back
And
for
just
more.
behind him, Noble Garter is going to be knocking on the doors as well. The D1 drivers are truly showing their pace. And
Yeah.
Napshan has fallen away, as you would expect him to, from the medium. Look at the huge gap of 5.5 seconds between Srivats and Napshan. But Napshan, I think he's keeping Sonic Hawk at bay, so he doesn't really need to worry about it too much. As someone goes
Oh.
for a move, the Mercedes, I'm Rahul getting back. At
Wow, I
Abhishek.
didn't expect that. I was not really expecting to see that. As look at Noble Gata and Abhishek. They're gonna go into the stadium. We're gonna get a very odd camera angle there through the helicopter shot. But there you go, Abhishek. I maybe it was intentional to get the DRS down the main straight. Malum. Let's have
It
a look.
could be.
There you go.
But
He does, but it's not very beneficial because look at Noble Gata just blasting
exactly.
by. It's not very
It's
well
a-
timed. Up front, Baz has made the move on Sume. And Ethan follows suit.
Yeah, these three have broken away, and what they're doing is they're overtaking only in the DRS zones. As Sumer, I think, will let Ethan go as well, unless he fights it to the core. He is fighting it, Sumer, and
Ethan
he
can't
keeps
get
his
by.
speed too. Yeah, Sumer does keep his speed too. As
Abhishek.
Abhishek,
Oh, he's fallen back significantly. We weren't really following that. And
yeah,
he's
so Suraj has made his way past. He's up into P6 now, and so the Mercedes boys, I think, especially Suraj has made some positive strides in this race. I am Rahul, after being on the lead of the race at the end of
Archit.
lap 1. Archit!
He's called
And-
time of
yeah,
race.
yeah,
That's a yellow flag. That will be problematic for those looking to make a move into turn one because, mind you, this game is amazing in the regard that it will get the retired car to drive back out onto the track. So, no moves being made here. Ethan's a little further back. I didn't expect to see him fall back in that manner, but there you go, somewhere with the move. But I don't think he'll be able to make it stick. I think he'll be able to make it stick now. Yeah, he's in the green flag area. And
Yeah, I think he made his move just after they left the yellow flag section of the race. As I'm Rahul and Noble Kata going side by side through turn 1. I'm Rahul keeps his car pinned in there, but Noble Kata with DRS, and now with that second dose of DRS should get in
Silver
front.
War.
And let's see what his teammate does now.
It's the Silver War, 7 versus Rahul. Or are they going to work in tandem? I think they are. And maybe in their best interest. So, I think just working together is the best way to go about this, as there's a yellow flag. I don't think anybody was affected too much by it. Srivat's a little further back, and Abhishek has fallen back by more than a second, so not sure what's happened to him there. He is one of the fastest drivers in this league. I think we expect to see him charge back up the field very, very soon. Up front, once again, like we've seen every single lap, Sume, Baz and Ethan, they're going to trade places at turn 1.
Yeah, this is smart racing by all three of them.
Smith.
Smith getting that 3 second quite early into this race. We are only 25% until the checkered flag falls, and Baz is a bit far behind this time to make a move
I don't think he'll
into
make the
turn
move
1.
actually. Yeah,
I think he'll sit back in P2 and then maybe go for an overtake in turn 4.
I think he'll make the most of the second gear zone. But look at Ethan. Ethan's got the superior traction and he's made the move. Both of them at DRS, mind you. So Ethan may go for the dive. He's been affected by Sume's braking there. And Baz has actually lost a lot of time, and that's Archit out of the session. Noble and Rahul, they are at loggerheads, and Noble Carter's off the track. So I think what Seven is doing right now, I think he's just saving up some battery. That's the smartest thing to do in this situation. Let the two ahead of you battle and save all your battery up.
Yeah, but they're losing time to the top 3. The last time I checked, it was 3.5 seconds. Now it is 4.5. So in a couple of laps, they've lost 1 second to the top 3, and all that means
Suraj
is
with the
they're just
move,
solidifying.
driving down the inside. Noble going off the track. That was a risky move, I think. It was a very opportune move by him there, by the looks of it. But yeah, they are losing a lot of time. Will it benefit them though? Are they actually... The only driver they're really pulling away from is Nupshan, who's on the hard tires. He's on a different strategy altogether. So
yeah, and I don't know what strategy is the faster one over here. I'm assuming it's a one stop since it's a very long pit lane. So maybe a medium to hards or a hards to medium is the way to go. As Abhishek and Sri was going side by side, losing even more time to Nupshan, who himself has lost time. So I don't know what Nupshan is up to. By
the
now,
battle for the lead.
Mediums.
And that's Baz running into the back of Ethan. Sume still holds on, but this is getting very feisty. And once again, Noble Carter's off the track at that corner. I think that's going to be on the grounds of racing. He may be able to get that removed. But let's see, Rahul still battling away with Noble Carter. Suraj a little too far back on this occasion to go for the dive on the driver ahead. This is getting interesting. There's little mini battles up and down the pack, and there's one which is not really focused on.
Yeah. Look at the gap now, 5.2 seconds. So another half a second lost to the leaders. Well, it has come down now a little bit, but I think every time I see this, and then the drivers talk about it in the Discord channel later on, that maybe the other person shouldn't have fought them that much in that phase of the race because they're losing time to the cars around them. But in the heat of the moment, Chips, no one really seems to realize that, and they keep doing that as Noble Carter and Suraj for the umpteenth time.
No, that's Rahul.
Oh, that's Rahul, sorry. No, it was Noble. Oh, yeah, it's Noble Carter and Rahul. My bad. The other Mercedes.
Yes. I think what Suraj is doing is, I think he's just biding his time. I don't think he wants to, but I think he's being forced to. He's kept it
playing it smart right now, probably preserving his tires and battery, just hanging back a little bit. And there's a long way to go. I'm assuming if it's a one-stopper race, the first and the only round of pit stops for the medium runner should come at around lap 15,
oh my word!
I would say.
Nupshan with the enormous movement there. I don't know if you caught that. He had a very scary moment there. He's now behind Sonic Hawk, but I think that's what they've been doing throughout the race. Vintage player with a warning. Okay, I saw that is Abhishek's right on the gearbox of Suraj. And up front, I think once again we're going to see the top two trade positions. Ethan having to break the toe because he knows Sume is going to come in feisty and he's going to come in hot, and I think he's going to go for the dive. Will he, Sume? They do go very, very close, but I think Ethan still has the advantage for the time being. Through turns 1, 2 and 3 they go. Towards turn 4, Abhishek and Suraj, they've traded those positions. We will get back to that in a minute. As we see Sume and Ethan, no, nothing's going to happen here. I think they're just going to hold their ground, stand where they are. And once again, Noble got her, and I am Rahul, and it's now Abhishek's behind I am Rahul. He doesn't have the security of his teammate
Yeah,
being
and
there
look at
to.
Abhishek's
Yeah.
closing in so much because of the battle between Rahul and Noble. Through those set of corners, Abhishek was almost pushing Rahul through this right and left hander. But
Oh, we
let's
have
see.
a
Oh,
safety
there's a yellow
car.
flag. The
Full course
safety
safety
car.
car. What's happened further back? That's that Domito's here. So Shah is going towards the pit lane. I believe he may have caused the safety car there.
And I think the
So
leaders are going to pit. The medium runners probably going to pit for a set of hearts.
I think that is what they should be doing. Will they? They are. But what about the two horse drivers? There are two of them and they're very close to one another. So they are going to double stack. Baz will
Noble
lose
stays out.
a little bit
No,
of time. No, that's
sorry, someone else.
Domitor. Domitor's unlapping himself.
Yeah, my bad.
So
My bad.
everybody is boxing. Doesn't look like anybody's going to stay out. So even the two Mercedes drivers are having to double stack. And that is going to be problematic for Suraj because look, he's going to have to wait. And once his teammate is done servicing, he will get serviced and they're all going to go onto the hard tires. And let's have a look at who has stayed out. So that is Sid Venkatesh and Mosquito who have stayed out on old hard tires. Could they have done anything differently?
It's tricky. You can see the likes of Nobshan and Sonic and Shooter and Smith, people who were on hards, coming into the pits.
Yeah.
They have been forced to pit, kind of. Now they have to go 20 plus laps on a set of mediums, which they would not have liked to do so. But the strategy has forced them, the safety car has forced them to do it. I think they might be hoping for another safety car somewhere down the road to put on a set of another medium tires or maybe even softs if there are not a lot of laps left until the end of the race.
This has really thrown a spanner in the works for the hard
But the
runners
thing
of
is,
all.
for the Ferraris, I don't think it's going to help them. 12 lap old hards are not going to hold at all, and the de facto race leaders in Somer and Noble and Basil. I don't know how Baz lost a position there to Noble. Because it was a double stack. My bad for the Haas boys. That's why. I think they are going to easily overtake both the Ferraris. So I don't think it's the right call.
I think the Ferrari drivers are
both the Ferraris to stay out. Maybe they could have split the strategy, but for both of them to stay out, that's a bit. I mean, it's unusual.
Yeah, I don't think it was particularly.
Yeah. And Raman with his typical pit lane cuts comment. Chips, I don't know if you know this, but a couple of seasons back, Raman was on the case of Srikanth and used to closely monitor all his pit entries which Srikanth used to do because they're in a championship fight. And Raman ultimately did win the championship. So
yes, it is last season. They were at loggerheads with one another. I apologize. My phone has given me a few issues.
Yeah, last season. My bad, Raman. Time flies. It feels like a whole. Feels like a lot of time back. Sonic Hawk on those hearts. So there you go, Chips. Two set of hearts for Sonic Hawk and traded those the track position just to be on the right tire.
And I am Rahul and Abhishek's trading positions. We've seen this end badly for Ethan and Shooter last time, right? More so for Ethan. But yeah, it's a little dicey there. Sonic Hawk, he had a penalty. I think he got it cleared out as well.
Yeah, so, I think he had a 10-second penalty, Sonic, which is probably one of the more
severe,
probable reasons for why he pitted, because he wanted to get rid of that penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is also now, by the way, Chips, it's a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane rather than a 5. I think that's a bit too harsh. 10 seconds, it's a bit too much. But yeah. Speaking of penalties, Chips, while we have this lull period, I think a lot has been said about the Verstappen Norris incident in Kota, the hairpin incident, not a hairpin, but the turn after that. What are your thoughts about that incident? I didn't watch it live. I watched it later. But yeah, I would like to hear what you have to say about that.
This is the one at, I want to say turn 12, the
Turn
step
12,
incident,
yes.
right?
Yep.
As I think many people have said, it's just exploiting a loophole in the rules. If
I
it's
think a
done
lot of people talked about
smartly,
consistency as well. There was maybe Russell and someone else who did the same thing, and the other driver got penalized. So it's consistency bandwagon, which is again in full force, and FIA letting Max get away with a lot of dirty tactics. So, well, I don't know which other incident they were referring to, but yeah, I did see those comments all across social media. So,
I think that's
should be
just
popcorn, but
going to.
it is a little bit of a shame because
It's gonna be the
I
case.
don't
Like
think.
stewarding is, I just realized it's not a very, it's a very thankless task to undertake.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
I've been racing for what's it, 5 seasons, and I've never really understood how not so fun it can be at times. But yeah, it's still quite entertaining in its own right. And with
Yeah,
that, I think we should have the safety car in this lap. So Ethan, provided he can bolt at the correct time, I believe he can pull out a 2.5 second gap to
yeah. He just has
Sumaya.
to hope that the likes of Sid Venkatesh and Deadly
Yeah.
Mosquito can hold on for a couple of sectors, and
At
that's about
least
it. Then
turn one,
Ethan,
and so yeah, that will really be enough of a detriment for Suman to lose DRS immediately. So Ethan has to just time this to perfection. The safety car has just gone into the pit lane, so I think he may go middle of the corner as opposed to the exit of the corner. And he's actually kind of
it's
done that.
gone. It's
Look
gone.
at that! Sid is,
What a start! What a
wow!
start!
He's already 1.5 seconds ahead of Sid Venkatesh. That is
What a
incredible. I did
start!
not
But
expect to see
look at
that. Wow.
Sumer. Look at
He's
Sumer.
losing
He's
time because
gonna.
look at Mosquito. He is going for a move. And I think it is going to be Sume who's going to go for the move here. Mosquito's lost many places. I think there's a Mercedes has run into Sume. I'm not sure what's happened there, but the cinematic camera is giving us many angles. That's Ethan running away, and that's the entire pack just unsure what to do. As then that's Noble got here. Will he go for the move around the outside? I think he will. Will Sid give him the room? I think. Yeah, that's a fair move by him. And Sume's sliding out. Look at that pack further back. That is incredible. It's incredible the amount of close racing we saw there. I think I saw like 7 cars all sliding through that corner. It's turn 5. Something that is
2.5
incredible.
seconds is the gap which
Yeah.
Ethan has. He must be thanking his stars that Sid and Deadly Mosquito stayed on. Look at Deadly Mosquito was P3. He's P8. He's lost 5 positions in
And
two
he still
sectors.
has to make a pit stop. So
Yeah.
I don't think
This
it's a
is
very,
not.
yeah.
This has not worked out well for the Ferraris as we expected, but it has worked out a treat for Ethan.
Caesar with a great comment here that the works team is helping out the customer
Yeah.
team.
That's how
Basil
bad
going for the
Ferrari's
move.
days are, and Sid Venkatesh is gonna lose another position to bad.
And the Ferrari is just tumbling down. That's really not the direction they wanted their race to go in. As as you see there, Ethan's really just pulled away, and that's the impetus he needed. That's all he needed. Those behind him do not have DRS, and now there's Noble got between himself and Sumer, so these two will be battling. Provided Ethan can just be sensible about it, manage his battery and tires well, he's in a very good position.
I really don't want to jinx it,
Yeah,
but
of
if
course
there are no
not.
more safety if there are no more safety cars, Ethan is looking good here for the rest of the race. Of course, a long way to go. 19 laps to go after this one. We're not even halfway there yet, so plenty of racing to come. I think you're spectating Suraj right now, who's trying to catch Shooter, and I think in the next 5 to 6 laps, the mediums should be getting equal.
We have a
on
yellow, that's
performance.
Abhishek.
Abhishek, that
Oh,
should
his
be
car
another safety
is.
car. It is.
Oh, that's in a very odd position, so that's another safety car. I'm not sure who he was battling with, Abhishek, but that is really problematic for him. But it's more so problematic for the.
The Ferrari split.
as you would. So they will have a couple laps fresher tires as compared to their rivals. So
Yeah.
maybe, actually, I didn't want to mention it, but I was just gonna say that should there be a safety car soon after the previous one, this is really gonna play out well for these two because they are gonna have fresher tires than the competition. Will it benefit them though? Will they be able to make the most out of it? 5 lap pressure tires.
I mean, it would make a difference for sure, and now you can comfortably take the mediums to the end, considering there will be a couple of laps under the safety car. But they've lost so much track position, and they will have to use up that additional rubber into getting ahead of these cars. Look at that, so many cars ahead of them. P15 for Sid Venkatesh. So it's not going to be easy at all. But at the same time, I can see both sides to it. I would have still preferred pitting had I been in that position, but I understand why they didn't want to pit, considering they were on a set of hards, and you can't pit from a hards to another set of hards if it's a bone dry race. So let's see what they can do. Sid Venkatesh, Deadly Mosquito, none of them known to be very aggressive, but the position they are
Yeah.
in kind of requires you to be a bit aggressive if you want to make up places and finish well in the points. So maybe on a podium, who knows. But this has played out well for, let's say, a Shooter and Noobshan and Smith, because there were doubts. I definitely had doubts whether the mediums would be competitive come the end of the race. Now they have those 2-3 breather laps under the safety car, and it helps their tire wear out.
This has really not helped out URL, Ethan.
Yeah, you gotta feel sad for him. He made the most out of the
1.5
opportunity that was
second gap.
presented to him, and now all that gap has just evaporated, and once again he'll be in that DRS battle with Noble and Sumer. So yeah, that's unfortunate for Ethan.
I think we will go
But I
racing
think
at the
today
end of
he
this
has
track,
shown
yeah.
pace that he can compete for the race win. So while he will not have the luxury he had in the previous safety car restart, but he should still be one of the top contenders.
He'll be competitive. That's, I think, what we are trying to say here. That he'll still be competitive despite that. I think that, well, Caesar with a very nice comment once again. I don't particularly want to bring that up.
This is the kuch bhi. I mean, this is the worst stat or observation in the history of observation.
There are quite a few drivers with the A in the name.
No, he's saying starting with A.
Starting with
not
A.
A in the name. I mean, dad jokes. I know you're a dad now, but please have some mercy on us. I hope the safety car is in this lap because the field is bunched up.
It will be. Yeah, there you go. Safety car is in this lap.
Yeah, thankfully. And Ethan, let's say now when he decides to go, considering everyone is on similar race tires behind him.
I think once again he's gonna go around about where he went the previous time, but I think he's gonna go at the entrance of the corner rather than the exit. That's very close for Noble there. From the cinematic shot, we can see as
lost his wing.
Sume is ahead.
What is Sume doing there?
What's happened here? Why is Noble going so slowly? What's happened up ahead?
I think he might have just gone.
He has, and that's very problematic. Sume will get a penalty for that, I think. Ethan is ahead by 1.5 seconds. Noble Garter, he is in the race, is he? He's using a lot of battery.
I don't know what happened.
Is that his AI? Is that AI, Malav? Let's just figure that out.
His car is not ghosted. I don't think it is AI.
Turn 1, let's have a look at the steering inputs. No, I think that's him driving.
Yeah, I don't think it's
so
AI.
whatever's happened there to Noble Garter, he's lost 3 places. Rahul and Sume. I'm just confused. I'm sorry. It's a little too much to figure out here.
But again, look at Ethan. He's got a second helping of the safety car chaos. And last time it was 2.5 seconds. This time it's still 1.5 seconds, which is not bad at all.
Yes, and this little midfield battle here between Vintage, Sonic, Yash and Shah. And I think Sonic Hawk has come out on top in all this. Nuption is somebody we've not talked about in a very long time. He I think he has a damage limitation race now. His strategy was not the ideal from the onset. A yellow flag once again. That's Shah in the barrier. We've had two safety cars in a row. I don't think this is going to be another one. He's lost his end plate. But there you go. Up front, Ethan's lead is coming down marginally, but it is coming down. It's down from 1.7
Yeah, and
to
Sumer is going to
1.3.
get a distant toe from the Haas. So
Baz going for the
it's
move.
yeah, that's
So
Baz
at
up
long
into
last,
podium positions.
the order has been re-established of Ethan, Sume, and Baz. These three gave us some amazing battles. I expect the same to continue on
Yeah, and
over
I
the next
think
few
Sumer
laps.
is gonna catch Ethan probably next lap. He seems to have a lot of pace. I'm more interested to see if I am Rahul can hang on to the back of Baz. Last time I have Rahul had a few other cars to battle with, and he had to contend with them instead of the battle for the lead. This time there is some gap between him and Noble Garter in P5. So if Rahul can hang on to Baz, which I think he's doing right now well, but then Baz also has to catch up to Sumer, who's more than 2 seconds ahead.
Rahul's actually done well to keep up with Baz throughout this lap. I think Baz is not as secure as he may think with Rahul being behind him. So Thomas are with a warning there, so just a bit worried. But nonetheless, Rahul, he may be able to hang on to the back of Baz when I think we should have DRS scope activated on this lap. Yeah, there you go. Sume is within striking distance. He can get DRS on this lap should he be able to stay close enough to the third DRS detection, second DRS detection point. Napshin and Shrivats. So is Shrivats playing the long game here? Does he not want to fight these guys because he knows that the medium runners will eventually run out of grip towards the end of the race?
I think that would be smart from Sivats because he knows the tires will come to him right now, those hard tires. And especially after a safety car restart, might be a bit cold, although this is the second or the third lap after the safety car restart, so it should be fine. But yes, his tires will be quicker in theory, maybe in the
Towards
next
the end,
four
yeah.
5 laps. So he just has to wait, be a little patient, and
What
the
I think
race should come
Napshin is
back to
trying to
him.
do is trying to keep up with Shooter because they are on similar strategies. And look here, what do we have here? It is once again Ethan and Sumer, but this time I think Baz is a little too far back to make any impact on this little battle here. And I think come turn one, it's going to be Sumer in the lead. DRS is going to be open. He is in the slipstream. He's going to use a little bit of battery, I think a tinge of battery to pass Ethan. I don't think he needs to. And he's into the lead.
Sumer looking
Easy as you
very
like,
quick here.
actually. Easy as you like. There, but so once again, this is the problem with one detection point. You don't really want to, so that if Rahul picks up a warning, picks up a penalty for multiple warnings.
That's not good news for Rahul
That's
at all.
absolutely
And,
not good news. Yeah.
and that brings Suraj in the equation as well. Nobagar himself already has a time penalty. So this all the more kind of starts solidifying the podium for the people who are already in the podium positions right now. But let's not count out Suraj. He could be a dark horse here if the front three start fighting a bit too much
Yes.
than they would like.
Well, at the moment, he's having to defend from Shooter, who is right on his tail. I think this sector 3 maybe where the mediums are still strong at this point in time. More so, I think sector 1 and 2 where Suraj is able to pull away. So with the fastest lap, Ethan is a long way back actually, 7 tenths.
Yeah, Sumer
Has he
has a
lost
lot of
pace on the
pace.
hards, Ethan?
And no, I don't think so. I think it's just that Sumer is very quick. As I am Rahul, I think he's going to go for an overtake on Baz, and he does make that move stick. So I am Rahul doing well. I think despite that time penalty which he picked up on the last lap, I think he's still gunning for that last podium spot. And if him and yes, Basil does not have a time penalty at the moment. So there's a yellow flag somewhere. Shah has more troubles in the same section of the track. Those SSS. Someone went down the inside. I think it was Smith.
Oh, that's a very odd contact there between Smith and Shrivats. And I'm sure not gonna enjoy that as that Yash
Oh my
Gosali taking a
God,
trip being a lawnmower there, and he is coming
that
back onto
was
the track. Yeah.
an overreaction if I ever saw one from Yash Gosalia. He just went
Oh,
90 degrees to the track there.
being a
Uh,
lawnmower in Valtteri Bottas's car.
and just like that, Ferraris are P11, P12.
That's what I wanted to mention. Okay, yellow flag once again.
Is
Is
this
Shah
Shah
still in
again?
trouble? No, he's not. He's not in trouble. He's in the pit lane. So I'm not sure. There's a lot of chaos that's unfolded here. There's another yellow flag. I think that actually may be Shah. Is he retiring? Is he gonna carry
It's
on?
in the pits. How can you get a yellow flag in the pits?
As Shrivats is missing both his end plates. That's a very odd looking front wing. It looks like a. Almost looks like a.
It looks like the tail of a whale there.
It looks like a decoration that people put in their houses. That's a very odd reference, but there
What
you
houses
go.
have you been visiting, Chips? I've never
Well,
seen that kind of decoration.
well,
I think Ferrari's just made a move. Sid
yeah, he
Venkatesh
has
in the
Sidvi up
points.
into P10, so he is 5 seconds behind the next driver. But I think he should be able to make the most of it. As there's a VSC. For why do we have a VSC? Everybody who had to retire and such, nobody retired as such. We just had people into the pit lane. That's Shrivats and Shah. Did Shah crash again? Is this the fourth crash he's had?
Does he? I don't think he has the front
He
wing.
doesn't have a front wing. He doesn't have a front wing. So that the cinematic camera is not giving me a front angle here. For
Yeah, but
Shah's
it's very,
Alpine.
it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
The decoration has been
Oh.
demolished. It doesn't have a front wing. And
Well, nobody likes these decorations by the looks of it. Who is that? Is that Sid Venkatesh? Okay, so
Yeah,
shoot
he's-
an option and pitting. Yash Gosale gets a warn. He gets a penalty. Why do I keep saying warning? I'm sorry for that. So Nuption takes this opportunity to box Shah with a 10-second penalty.
yeah, I think he's gonna retire as another set of mediums.
That's smart. I think that's reasonable. See, you would think that softs may be the way to go, but I don't think they trust the tire wear on this
maybe
game. But
in
Shrivas with the
the-
drive. Okay, people have drive-throughs. Malav, are you ready? It's only okay. It's only Shrivas. I thought it was
It's only
multiple
Shrivas,
drivers.
I
I thought it was
think.
multiple
Yeah.
drivers. I'm sorry for that. That's a little anticlimactic there.
I think Nubshan and Shooter going side by side. Nubshan just settling behind in P13. I think it's smart by Nubshan to pit there under the VSC. Those mediums would probably not have lasted.
Now he can go guns blazing to the end. That is.
And he doesn't have a time penalty, and I hope that he keeps it that way. So that will gain a few. That will gain him a few positions.
Also, Malav, I think by the looks of it, this would be the last safety car or VSC opportunity that they would have had. So I think it's
Yeah,
pretty
probably, but
sensible.
you never know.
for them
The
to
field
do.
is bunched up, and
Yeah.
someone could just lose it in sector 2 and get and crash out. But here goes Baz on. I am Rahul.
Yes,
Should
DRS.
be an easy move into the first turn.
And he's made it stick. Baz into
Ferraris
P3.
P7 P8.
So actually, that alt strat may have just worked out perfectly for them. But I think Mosquito he does have DRS, and Sonic Hawk is on older hard tires. I think we may have underestimated the Ferrari strategy here.
Yeah, with a bit of a luck and some good driving, Ferraris have both of them brought themselves up into the points. I think what Sidvi now needs to do is that, unless he really thinks he has a realistic chance to catch Suraj, he should probably keep giving Mosquito that DRS and drag him
Probably
along.
is.
Mosquito,
If he keeps giving Mosquito DRS, there'll be a cap till where Mosquito will be able to. He'll have to maintain his pace. And I don't think that will allow him to pull away from Sonic Hawk. But as we say that he's pulled away.
yeah, but he's
almost a
trying
second.
to
Yeah.
lose. Yeah, he's trying to lose one position, of course, to
Yeah.
Sonic. But behind Sonic, again, there's a gap of almost 6 seconds.
Yeah,
to
honestly,
win.
that is the best situation as Shrivas has retired in the pits.
Is it in the pits?
Yeah,
It's in the pits.
Up front, Ethan is running out of battery. As we can see, there is depleted his resources. He is not in a very good position as Rahul and Baz trade places. Thankfully, that's beyond the yellow flag zone. I don't know why the game does that. It's been doing that since, isn't it, forever?
Yeah, it's been a while since they conveniently inserted that path into our lives and just forgot about it.
Yeah.
What was Deadly Mosquito? Was it just
What I
looking for
think the
some
Mosquito
clean
should
air?
just do here is that he should go in the clean air, provided that he has a good enough gap to Sonic Hawk, and that way he can maintain his star attempts as well.
Or you know what they could do? They could just swap right now, and Sidvi could just hold up Sonic Hawk, such that Mosquito
Well,
gets P7
honestly, that's
easy.
a very good, that's a very
Yeah,
good way to go about it.
so just give him that 3 second gap. But either ways, I don't think they're thinking. I think that would just overcomplicate things. I'm more interested to see the progress of Shooter and Noobshan. 6 seconds is the gap between Sonic Hawk and Shooter, and the Noobshan is close behind. They're running out of laps right now. Noobshan will not get any points from this race, but he needs
He is
something to
right behind
happen.
Shooter though, so
Yeah, I mean right now. I mean as things stand. But
okay, up front for the first time in a while, it's Ethan on Sume. I didn't really expect to see that, and Baz and Rahul trading places as well. But look at this. Look at Sume. He is sniffing around the rear, and the yellow flag for a kick Sauber. I'm not sure who that is, and I'll just
Dominator,
focus
I
on
think.
that. I'm not too sure about it. The kick Saubers have had a very busy afternoon around the track, not just on the track. But Noption and Shooter trade positions. Now Noption is ahead of the Alpine driver. And yeah, up front, they managed to recharge a fair bit of their battery, Ethan and Sumer. So this could really be a fight down to the wire as Domithor is retired in the pit lane. I think you were right, it was him who went off the track in this section. Sorry for that. Uh, what does Ethan do in this situation? He knows that Sumer is going to get the DRS. So how does he minimize the advantage that he gets?
I don't think he needs to do anything here. They just need to play this out until the last couple of laps. They have a healthy margin to Baz in P5, in P3, and I think now what they'll be doing is just mental gymnastics in terms of who wants to be the chasing
Oh,
car when they start lap 36.
Malav, I think the
And
move was made in the yellow flag for Some. He may have to give that up. Let's
let's
just
see
check that
if the
out.
game asks him to, he might just do that. But
I don't think
the
it
way
has.
he's
So
going right now,
I think he's timed it to perfection there.
so either he did that or he thinks he might get it removed later
Possibly
on.
we will
So
get an indication in a moment's note.
I think by
I
now
don't
the
think.
game
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
penalized
There's
him
no.
if it wanted
Yeah,
to.
I don't think there's. I think he's timed the move to absolute perfection there. Baz ahead of Rahul, but these two are also battling
And
quite
they're
hard.
losing more time, Baz and Rahul. It was 5 seconds, just
Malav, we
a few
didn't notice
corners
this.
back. Now it is
Mosquito's
six
now
and a
ahead.
half.
Sonic's between the two Ferraris now, and
Yeah,
Sidvi has lost 2 positions.
yeah, it hasn't played out well. Well, the Ferraris are still going to finish P8, P9, but Shooter is now creeping up.
There you
Look at
go.
on those
Shooters in the
fresh.
background there.
Yeah.
They really need to make the most of it up front. Let's have a look at these two once again. It's Ethan and Sumer. Lap 31 of 36. 6 laps to go. Ethan going for the move into turn 1, and I think he's going to make it stick. No doubts about it. No questions asked.
I don't know what's happening, but Baz and Rahul are losing a lot of time to
They're battling.
Sumer and Ethan.
That's just what happens.
Yeah.
When you battle, you lose a lot of time.
Yeah,
And
but
that is
I haven't seen them battle a lot in the corners, but except maybe last 1 or 2 laps. But look at the time they're losing. It was 5 seconds just a lap and a half ago. Now it is 6.8.
why do neither of them have DRS? Neither of them had DRS there.
Or
So
maybe one of them chose not to deploy. I mean, activate DRS. But they're losing a lot of time, and they're just taking themselves out of contention for this race win. Unless one of the leaders completely loses their car, as Sonic Hawk and Deadly Mosquito still fighting along, and you can see in the background Noobshan and Shooter slowly but
you
surely
can see
catching up.
them. Yeah. So I think what's gonna happen here is that Sonic Hawk, for his own race, can just slow down Mosquito and Sidvi a little bit through the corners, such that they'll be under threat from Noption and Shooter.
I think that's going to happen
It's gonna
regardless of what.
hamper Sonic Hawk's progress a little bit, but it may actually end up helping him out. Once again, these two swapping positions. I think we're gonna see the defining move made on the final lap. I don't think
Probably.
these two know that it doesn't make sense to So I think we're going to see some very interesting DRS games on the penultimate lap at the
Yeah,
section point.
that is going to be fun to watch. As I think one petition which I want to start, Chips. Maybe you can back me up on that after reading the latest comment from Caesar is to cut off. Oh yes, Gosalia. Cut off all
BSC.
internet in Dubai
Yeah.
because this is getting ridiculous now. I do not want to see these kind of comments in my hello Dobithor in
Hello,
the
Dominic.
comments.
Good to see you. Would have been better to see you on track. Unfortunate that you've not had a very good time. As Yash Gosalia has gone on to mediums, has he? Or is it soft? Is it just bugging out for me? No, it is mediums. Does he not have a fresh set of softs on him?
Maybe he doesn't, or maybe he did not choose a
I
correct
think
tire in
he
the
was really
MFD
close to the.
to the pit lane. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he had enough time to make a decision there. But the VSC will end anytime now.
9 seconds. How
A
is-
drive-through.
Oh, yes,
I think I
Kusala,
saw
come
two
on.
people, Malav. I think I saw two people with a drive-through. That is Sonic Hawk with a drive-through.
Oh,
And Sid
Sonic.
Venkatesh, why has he fallen back behind all these other cars? As Shooter banging wheels with, no, not banging wheels, but they're contact.
Nushan could finish P7 here
Nupshan
after
could
all
be in a
that.
very good position here. Nupshan could actually just pick up the scraps and oh, that's okay. Sonic Hawk into the pit lane. Mosquito is going to be gobbled up by Shooter and Nupshan and maybe even Sidvi. Nupshan's a little too far back on this occasion, but you never know. Come turn 1 or turn 4, there may be something feisty occurring as Rahul ahead of Baz. Can Rahul also get his penalties removed if you've been able to keep a track of that? I don't think we have been able to.
I haven't been able to register all the incidents where he got a time penalty. So, but as we saw in the last towards reports, it is difficult. It's difficult to get your penalty removed. It's not every day that drivers are able to do that. So, I would like to be a bit cautious in terms of predicting that. As Napshan now into P9 and Sid Venkatesh, it was 15 lap.
Oh, that's
deadly
Mosquito! Oh, he was running in such a good position as well. And he's had another spin. And up front, these two still going to battle. Ethan and Sumer. Sumer is now behind. Who is going to get the DRS? I think it's going to be Ethan. Yeah, it is going to be Ethan. Noble got it with a double move, but he's got a warning, and this is banging wheels. It's serious racing between the three of them. This is 3 wide almost, coming up towards turn 4. Sorry for that. As Noble got a will he go for the dive on 2 cars? That's going to be a very risky move. He bangs wheels with Rahul, and I think Baz is going to be the biggest beneficiary in all this. And there you go.
Yeah, Baz does take P3. Noble Carter had to back out of that one. He was inside, had the inside line of 2 cars, so he had to brake early, and that is smart racing. That is respectable racing by Noble. Any other driver would have probably just sent it. I think it is Yash Gosalia who's chasing these.
Ethan got out of shape there. Yeah, that is Yash Gosalia. He wants the DRS. I think that's a smart way to go about it by Yash. But I think I don't know if you saw that Ethan got out of shape. Are his tires giving up on him? I don't want for it to be, but yeah, they are on the same tires. I think, but Ethan's had to follow for a little longer than what Sumer had to. This is the lap, Malab. This is the penultimate lap. This is where we expect the DRS games to happen. Come the stadium section.
Yeah, I think you want to lead at the end of lap. At the end of, when you reach turn 1 on the next lap. So Ethan has.
It all comes down to him.
Yeah, but he has to stick around, and that's not a good corner. Just as we said that, and that is just more impetus to Sumer to just push on and gain those extra couple of tenths.
Caesar mentioning that it's a wrong move, but
I don't know for sure though. I don't know for sure.
Is it though?
The gap is increasing, and Ethan is now under pressure. 8 tenths.
He's struggling. I think he's just made the mistake of looking up at the gap there. That really puts you under a lot of pressure. It's unnecessary pressure, and that is not what he needs at this point in the race. This is where he needs to be close to Sumer within a second. I think he has managed to do that. And as they go on to the start-finish straight for the final time in this race, Oh, he has Yash Khosali as well chasing him, but Ethan's gonna use the battery. He's already depleted a good chunk of it. I don't think that's the best decision, Madhav. He should have saved some of it for the back straight.
And
That's
there's
not
no
a.
battery left for the next back straight.
While I think Sumer
And
has battery to
yeah,
defend
Sumer
with.
probably might have some
Yeah, as
battery
you
to
see
deploy.
there. But this all gonna come down to the DRS that Ethan has. Is it beneficial enough? Is the slipstream and the little bit of battery that he has gonna be enough for
He's
him?
gonna go for it.
He's not.
No, stays back.
I think he's also getting distracted by Yash. But look at that.
Doing everything he can.
Sumer got out of shape
way.
there. Yeah, Sumer got out of shape, and Yash. I think that may be distracting for.
Yeah, I don't think Yash. I mean, he shouldn't be doing that. I hope he backs
It registers as a car, right? It'll give you the proxy arrow and such. When you're.
I don't know about that, but it's just distracting nonetheless. It is unnecessary from Yash.
Yeah.
He has been in a championship fight himself, and he would not appreciate. And he has been in race winning positions himself. But either ways, it is going to be Sumer, Chips. I think he has done it.
Yeah. I think that was the correct move there. He made the move at the right moment, and he's gonna win the race in Mexico. Ethan's gonna come home in P2. Who's gonna be P3? Oh, that's a big gap behind as Noble got to lose the rear end there. At a crucial moment, they bang wheels as the comes back onto the track. That is Basil finishing in P3. It's gonna be a photo finish between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. I think Rahul has won that little battle. Suraj has had a very quiet race, but it is good points for him. It's P5 actually. Noption in P7. He has Sid Venkatesh behind him, and he has Shooter as well. But he's gonna finish ahead of the pair of them. Sid V, good effort by him to hang on those older tires. I think Shooter's run out of fuel there. And there you go, the last of the point scorers will be Smith Shah, the lobby host. Vintage.
Both the Williams in the points. I did not expect Smith to get points there in the end.
Smith,
Good race by him. I think probably a relatively calm race. Although he did have an incident, I'm sure, with someone. I don't know who. But I think the moral of the story, Chips, is this. Caesar says it's the wrong move. It is the right move.
It just somehow isn't. Yeah. So, I think we were all betting on Ethan to have the advantage there at the end. It just didn't work out that way. And did Mosquito get the fastest lap? I don't think he did. But that is the end of the race. Sumer has won. And Baz, I think, really got... His race was really thrown into... out of the water there by the pit stop, the double stack that he had to do behind Ethan.
Yeah, the double stack did hurt him, but I think him and Rahul battling so hard behind Sumer and Ethan also
actually
did not help.
A bit. I think it puts into context that maybe Rahul did have the pace to keep up with these two. He was just a little too far back to challenge Sumer and Ethan. Because Baz was keeping pace with him.
Sumer did look pretty quick out there. Despite the DRS and slipstream.
The thing was, Baz was able to keep pace with Sumer and Ethan. So if Rahul was battling with Baz, if Baz was
Sumer gets the fastest lap as well. So
he does. So yes,
that's a lot of points for Sumer.
26
taken home.
4 points from P4. He wins the race. Ethan also moving up a few positions. He didn't get the win he wanted to. Baz in P3. I think he will be upset with how it's ended for him there. Rahul in P4, Suraj in P5, he picks up another point. Look at the gap, it's 3 tenths between himself and Noble. That was right on the limit there, but he did make it work in the end. Noble in P6, Noption 7. I think that's damage limitation for him there. That's all he could have done. Sidvi in P8, we didn't expect to see that. I don't think either you or me were expecting to see him finish in the points tonight, but he's proven us wrong, and there you go. It's been an interesting race. Unfortunately, I'll have to say I'm not really looking forward to the next couple of days. Given the amount of things we've seen on track, it's not a very ideal situation to find yourself in.
But I didn't see a lot of... I think there was a few incidents where drivers were losing the cars by themselves. So, I don't think it will be a very, very busy Stewards Inquiry channel. But you never know. This is...
Well, you never know. You never know.
So maybe there is stuff we have missed. And are you inviting these people in already,
Yes,
or?
that's Basil and Ethan, and we have to invite, not Sumer. All right, so send invite to all of them. What's your take on the race, Madhav? How was it as a Mexico Grand Prix goes?
I think, as we expected, there were bunches of cars and groups of cars that were battling, and ultimately, we did know from the first stint itself that Baz, Sumer, Ethan, and maybe even Noble for a while did look like the cars who were going to probably take the podium positions, and that's what has happened. But yeah, fantastic race by Sumer. Towards the end, especially, he capitalized on, I think, a couple of mistakes which Ethan made, and that made drove a good race the last few laps.
Yes, indeed. I think we have the top three with us in the party chat, so I think we can start off with Baz. Are you here?
Hi, Chips.
Hi, Baz. Okay, before we start, just congrats, Sumen. I believe you now have the IRL lap record around Mexico, so you can be proud of that. It's a good start to have. Nonetheless, Baz, it is P3. I don't think this is the result you want. You wanted P1, given your quali pace.
Yeah,
How was it tonight?
yeah, it's just good fun, to be fair. Quali surprising lap. I think it surprised everyone, even myself. Um, but yeah, congrats to the other two. Yeah, they were able to just slipstream each other and DRS each other away. I definitely got caught out by the first safety car, and then the second safety car where Noble had some issue. I don't know what it was. But then at that point they were already 2 seconds ahead of us. And in this game, you just have to stay within DRS. It doesn't matter how quick you are, there's the driver behind there is past you. So I was kind of stuck in a battle with Rahul at the end. Um, but yeah, I think there was definitely more from that race.
Would you say, Baz, that the double stack really messed up your momentum?
I mean, I only lost one position on the double stack. I managed to time it just about right. And then we had the Ferrari drivers in between, which was and then yeah, Noble's whatever issue that was, I don't know. My chance of getting a win. But yeah, good fun. Always.
I think you can still be happy with a P3. It's still decent points. It's still a podium for you. Yeah, Malav, anything you want to ask, Baz?
That's just a question about your battle with Rahul. First of all, congratulations on the pole. I think Redstone celebrated it like no other in the comment section. So you can probably check out the comment section after this. With yeah, mega lap and a good first stint as well. But the second stint, the battle with Rahul especially, it was a bit surprising because Rahul did seem to have pace and you had as well. But you were losing time, both of you, hand over fist to Sumer and Ethan ahead. What was going on in your mind, or what would you put that down to? I think you were losing like half a second maybe each lap in the few laps
Yeah,
of that second stint.
yeah. I mean, Rahul couldn't keep up with us in the first stint when us three drove away. So I obviously knew that there was some weaknesses within his driving. I mean, I quickly realized it was expected to. He just wasn't taking. He wasn't taking it as quick as we were able to, which meant that they were increment. Never really get that gap, and the gap just kept growing. Also, Rahul wanted to battle, even though I just wanted to switch positions. So yeah, just a multiple stuff, you know. Yeah, I think once they were out to DRS, there was no catching them. We were quite similar on pace. So yeah, here's what it is.
All right, congratulations nonetheless, Basil. I think you have paid good tribute to your world-class diamond in the rough Lando Norris by taking pole but not winning the race. So yeah, good on that.
Thanks, bro.
But yeah, jokes apart, it was fun watching you guys battle both stints, to be honest.
Indeed. Congrats, Baz. Well done. We now move on to URL Ethan. Hi, Ethan.
Hello, Chips.
Ethan, it's P2. Going into the last lap with the DRS advantage, it was expected by most of us to have you blast away into the lead come turn one. But just walk us through the race and that final lap more, so like just the final phase of the race. How was it for you?
Little bit frustrating, you know. I was about 6-7 tenths behind Suman on lap 35, and I made quite a few mistakes. I would say I was getting distracted as well with the ghosted car over there, but that's on me. Yeah, I was just pushing way too hard. The rares were giving up. I think even on the SS I had a huge moment. I had gone wide and I tried to make up that time, but Sumaya was just too far ahead. If I had not made those mistakes, that overtake would have been made. But I guess we'll never know.
Well, despite that, I think you can be very happy with your pace that you've shown across Texas and today here in Mexico. Are you
Yeah,
considering a late title challenge? Even with 6 races to go, do you think?
I mean, a title challenge is too early to think about it right now, you know. I wasn't too focused about that. I just had a good battle with Sumaya and Baz. I mean, if it does come to a title challenge, that'll be later on, but at the moment, that's not on my mind.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think despite that, you had a very, very good pace. So well done. Congrats to you.
Thank you.
Malu, anything you want to ask?
Just want to ask Ethan, what is the Diwali gift you're giving to the Ferrari boys? Because they really tried to help you out in the safety car restart. Unfortunately, there was another one right after. But 2.5 seconds, I think, was the gap before another safety car was deployed. Just walk us through what was going on in your mind in the second safety car restart when you had, I think, Noble behind you and he had an issue as well. And again, you had a 1.5 seconds gap, but then Sumer caught up in a few laps.
Yeah, I noticed Noble had an issue. He was slowing down quite a bit. I was trying to bolt as soon as possible, but the safety car was still out on track. I think I got a 1.3 second lead on Sumer, but with the DRS slipstream and pace, just managed to catch up. Yeah, the first safety car restart, kudos to the Ferrari boys, you know. If there wasn't any VSC or SC after that, it would have been maybe a different outcome. I'm not too sure. But 2.5 second lead was more than enough for me to try and get the most out of it. But I'm pretty happy at P2 considering the quality frustrations of getting impeded, I think, multiple times. So yeah.
Alright, good stuff. Congratulations on the P2 and also on being the fastest URL driver in the lobby. Moving on to our race winner.
Sumer. Are you here, Sumer? Sumer, it is the race win. You showcased some great pace. You were involved in all the right battles, but above all else, I think you just had the advantage. Even just how was it? How was it tonight? Yeah. Sumay, we can't hear you. Just check your audio sharing settings, please. Yeah, Caesar, thanks for pointing that out. Do you need any help with that? I think you should be audible now.
Can you all hear me now?
Caesar, please just confirm that. I think you can restart first. Yeah. Yeah, I think you can continue with your
Uh,
answer.
so yeah, so I was saying since I just got this game like a few days back, I haven't done much practice. Just done a few laps around here, and I think I stole Ethan's setup from time trial if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I haven't done much practice. The race surprisingly went well. Didn't expect this outcome, honestly. I thought I'd finish P7, P8, but I still managed to stick with the top guys. It was a great race. It's been 6 months since my last podium, last interaction with you all, so it feels really good to be back. And I'm going to keep making these small special appearances. I might not be a full-time driver, but I'm sure that whenever I make these special appearances, I want to give the top guys a run for their money once in a while. So, yeah, GG's to Ethan and Basil. It was a great race. Me and Ethan, we like pulled like an 8 or 10 second gap, I think, towards the end. So it was competitive. He kept me on my toes throughout, but I had a great time and I'm gonna race much more often in the future. So thank you guys. And yeah.
We'll be looking forward to that, Sume. And just well done once again. Malum, anything you want to ask him?
No, nothing to ask. Congratulations, Sumay. 6 months. I didn't realize it was that long since you last raced with IRL, but yeah, I think you are one of those drivers who just pops in, gets a good result, and then goes
Disappears.
back into hibernation for the next few months. So keep coming back to IRL whenever you can because it's always fun to watch you race. And yeah, good pace tonight, and it was a pleasure watching you battle these people lap after lap.
Well done. Well done to our top three once again. Congrats to all of you, Sume, Baz, and Ethan. And I think we can call it here, Malum.
Yep, we can. And happy Diwali to everyone who's celebrating next week.
Yes, next week is Diwali, so happy Diwali to all those who are celebrating it. We'll be back after a week's break. We'll be back in beautiful, beautiful Interlagos. Until then, take care, stay safe, good night, and bye bye.